Araxi. And Maria.
You learned to pronounce my middle name. I'm enchanted. Thank you.
In honor of you and being in Greece, you know, I'm going to have my baklava afterwards, thinking of you.
Okay.
People may not realize it, but Maria is the one who's responsible for getting me here today. And,
and you're responsible for getting everybody else here.
Well, you did all the hard work. I'm just doing the easy stuff. So those of you probably know Maria from Thessaloniki. And we have lots of stories, but we won't bring them up now. That would be another talk. And thank you so much for organizing this. This is great. Let's see if you can get your...
I'm not sure if I can share my screen. Let me see. Yes, I can. So give me one tiny second.
Yep.
Don't start that timer before I'm ready, because I've timed myself and I am, you know, on the cusp, exactly there. My screen is loading for some reason. I'm not sure what you can see. I think I can start. So lovely people. Greetings from Thessaloniki, Greece, and this is exactly where my journey started.
Just start, Maria. Just start the PowerPoint.
It shows that it is on in mine. Let me try that again.
Yeah, it's in the setup mode.
Let me see. Can you see it now?
Let's see. Hang on. Yep, there it is.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So
now I'll start your timer.
Yeah, thank you. So this is where my journey started in Thessaloniki, Greece, the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, studying psychology and education. Was I happy to be there? Well, given the fact that it's so hard to get a place at university in Greece, yes, I was happy. Was it a dream come true? No, siree, because I was going to be an actress. I was going to analyze international drama, and I was going to direct and be on stage and experience being Juliet and I don't know what else, and roles that would amaze everybody. And my parents said, okay, for study. So I did. But unfortunately, the theater part would not materialize, because during my gap year, I joined the British Council to study and get my CPE. And there I met this lovely lady, Julia Tanner-Boya. And much like in the slide, she came part and parcel with TESOL Macedonia Thrace. And she encouraged me to join, not because I would teach, but because, as she put it, it's great exposure to the language and you would be speaking English, so why not study? At the time, I knew several things about myself, and I was very clear about those things. Let me share them with you. I was creative. I was not a person doing business and worrying about money, boring, tiring, fastidious business and invoices like my parents and their shop. No, no, no. I knew that ladies can do anything. Professional women could rise to anything. Life threw at them as long as they studied. That's how I was raised. So that was the plan. And I thought, okay, so there's a lot of unemployment. Therefore, even if I get a first job, I will be fired. So let's get that out of the way. Let's get that first job. And I got a newspaper. I found my first teaching job. And was it a good school? No. Was it close to my house? No, it was in a village. I had to commute 3 times a week. And was I prepared? No, because back then I thought that teachers were like Mother Teresa, put on earth to change the world in the most saintly way. And their basic goodness, holiness, and wisdom was not to be doubted. Parents would be happy to have me coordinate their children's learning, and they would not scold me because their precious one misrepresented my teaching or my grading or their own behavior in class. But it turns out that was the 1970s that I had in mind. In the 1990s, you could easily get in trouble because you did not manage to get the parents on your side. So a new job, new money, that means independence. That means that I could teach any way I wanted in the school that I ran all by my lonesome without any experience. No, this was the time when I discovered that schools are places of interdependence. And unless you have a lot of supportive people around you, forward thinking management, and a lot of people training you, little can happen. But what about money? I didn't care about money at first. Well, at that point, I realized that money is not and should not be the first factor and the first variable to consider when choosing a workplace. It's part of the deal. It is not the top factor. Otherwise, it leads to a very suffocating career. A
Hát
good
is
long
fölveszek valami ruhát, mert ebben a
years have
körülköszönben nem annyira tudok itt dolgozni.
a good long years, some
Eszter, nem
years
akarsz
passed,
beszélgetni kicsit, Justin, néha?
and I started serving on the board of TESOL Macedonia Thrace Northern Greece, presenting some workshops. Then I joined IATEFL. Of course, it is much difficult, a lot more difficult to start becoming somebody in IATEFL. And of course, I was writing articles. And this gave me the idea, and it gave other people as well, the idea that I was venturing and branching into training. So when my boss at the time started a new venture, he called me in his office and he said, we're not going to hire another trainer. You're going to handle the training. And I was like, sorry, I'm not a trainer. He said, what do you mean? Of course you are. You do this, you do that. That's what trainers do. And I thought, but I don't have any certificates to say that I'm a trainer. And at this point, after a very enlightening discussion with my boss, I realized that it wasn't how people define a career or a professional identity, but which part of this career we are ready to assume and how we realize those constituent units. So the other mind-blowing thing that happened to me came in December 2002. I was at the TESOL Christmas event and somebody approached me and said, you know, you were on my mind because I was thinking, would you be interested in writing for us? I was like, writing? An article? No, material. We are looking for somebody to write the Greek companion to an international course that Jean Perret is going to publish. And at first I was, yeah, right, shut the front door. This is not happening. There is no way. I'm going to get excited. They're going to promise a lot of things, and then they're going to get somebody else. And it did happen. And it led to an exciting world of more training for materials development, more understanding of what leads to publishing, and a greater understanding of copy editing, content editing, and in general, understanding briefs. Do teachers make good materials developers? I wonder. It depends. It's a whole different kettle of fish, a new identity. How well can we work on international teams? How well can we understand briefs and harness our creativity to translate the local to the international? How well can we understand the needs of students whose faces we will never see and whose questions we will never answer? And how well do we get to understand what the teachers require from the component that we are writing? This is why Catherine Bealsborough, Dorothy Ziemach, I love you ladies, because you have managed to guess my needs and those of my students. So my heart goes out to you, and a big thanks. And this has been a big part of my life that gradually led me to start visiting schools, start understanding what goes into the building of the business. And sorry, did I say business? Business, money. Where did all the drama go? Well, as I said, the drama never came. The temporary job, the bargain with my parents, well, it all led to ELT, and ELT started leading me to another and different course. What supports schools? What leads some schools to survive as businesses and some others to fold? Why do good schools close down, and how can we help those schools stay afloat? So based on all these, I started input on education, not because I wanted to hold a big, microscope and tell people what they're not doing right and I know everything and you don't. Totally opposite. I wanted a company that could help train and support businesses by understanding the situation, through understanding what they have done already, and provide them with the support that they need. So now, instead of analyzing texts and, exploring characters of the international repertoire, I actually analyze the clickability of posts and how we can drive traffic from the social media of the school onto the website. But this is it. And misconceptions, my baby, Input on Education, was born in January 2013, 2011. And it was actually born in a clinic. And at the time, I wasn't ready at all for a business. I kept thinking that if there's no office, it will hurt less if it ever folds. I'll tell you what, all of these projects are my life's doing. And if it ever folds, it will hurt the same way. I'm particularly fond of this little dot on top of the eye made of different bits, mainly to indicate that schools do not consist of the same person, but of different people who work harmoniously within their differences and despite their differences. Teaching abroad came later, and I must say I was ill prepared for camp because I had never been in one, but I have learned so much. I was led by an amazing teacher, an amazing director of studies who actually showed me how to understand international environments, support teachers and students. And these are my two jobs, Oscars International at Sipford School in Oxfordshire and New Battle Abbey College International House in Edinburgh. If you don't miss the irony, I changed companies to be given the same uniform. And my final bit, I always thought that training teachers and teaching teachers are very close, but by newest edition, actually teaching at the University, the International Faculty of the University of Sheffield City College has showed me that it takes a lot more to actually see them from the first day and actually follow their progress till the end. Identity is not just what we have right now, but a composite of what we will be in the future. And sometimes this is the game between how open we are to change and how solid our identities are. The roads might be straight, they might look, our destination might look close, but hey, enchanting journeys take place only on confusing roads. Thank you so much.
I just love the way you say repertoire.
Thank you. Bye-bye,
Maria.
Rob. Thank you, everyone.